This is the next step on your journey. Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at what the next step is on your journey. And so we have three groups as usual today. The first group is represented by the Fresh Approach card. Timestamps are listed below in the description box, or the chapter notes can also take you ahead to your reading. Group 2 is Keep Your Dreams Alive. Group number 2, Keep Your Dreams Alive. Group number 3, we have the Ideal Course of Action. I absolutely love these cards, Nature's Whispers, beautiful imagery. So select the card, the artwork, or the number for the reading that you feel called to, and then use the timestamps below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or reading, and we'll see you there. All right, hi group number 1. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose the Fresh Approach card. And I just, like I was saying in the intro, I absolutely love this deck, Nature's Whispers, and I forgot that I had it because I have it kind of like in one of my other side card storage areas. And they're beautiful, like the imagery, the artwork. So I'm really seeing a lot coming for you, group number 1, in this next step on your journey, or this next stage. It feels like something that was very deeply unconscious is becoming illuminated, or there's something that you're seeing in like Technicolor. It's feeling very much like Dorothy going from Kansas to Oz, and all of a sudden you were living life in black and white, and then this next step is really kind of taking you into Technicolor. I just keep getting that message, especially from the rainbow in this card. It's like you're entering into this Technicolor rainbow land where everything is really bright and illuminated and you can see things clearly. Like everything was just different shades of gray before, but now you can really see them, like what's red, what's blue, what's purple. So this feels very much like an activation of the third eye, because the moon in this card was really standing out to me. That's why I said it's something about the subconscious mind that's being illuminated. And so and Technicolor, like seeing beyond the color spectrum and going from like the mundane third dimensional reality to the fifth dimension, which would be represented by that Oz, by the land of Oz in that analogy. So it feels very much like this next step for you is taking you into a whole different world. And it's because you're illuminating something in your mind, group number 1. Ooh, I was just talking about chakras, but we have the sacral chakra. So you're feeling things more deeply. Yes, it's a whole new sensory environment. Right. I do still feel like the third eye is active here, but the sacral chakra is to do with your senses, and sight is one of those senses. Vision is one of those senses. And so being heightened and having these heightened senses in this next stage of your journey, this next step is kind of asking you to see and feel things more deeply, to open up to a whole Technicolor world. So I think doing some emotional and mental healing is going to be part of that, or has been part of that in the previous stage. Like if you've been working at that for all of this time, I can see that has been working, and this next stage is really going to let you unfold in a very, very powerful way. Yeah, I do want to go into the astrology deck. Let's get some astrology messages. The North Node, destined to have. The North Node is like your destiny, right? It says right there, destined. So it is your destiny. It's something that you came here to evolve into. It's not something you've necessarily done in previous lifetimes. So it does feel a little bit sort of out of your comfort zone, or it calls you into a version of you that doesn't feel fully you yet, but it's what you're meant to be. And so it's kind of like pushing through a little bit of confusion or feeling like a fish out of water to get to this mastery of self, which again, I keep getting the Wizard of Oz. That's what they're showing me in my mind clairvoyantly. And it's a great representation of this, because it's like the archetypal story of Dorothy feeling really lost, feeling disconnected, not really appreciating the surroundings or the environment that she was in Kansas, and then finding herself plopped into this new land where everything is different and vibrant and really sensory intense. And she kind of is confused and she's disoriented and she's a little bit afraid, but she ends up finding her way, feeling her way through the environment, following the yellow brick road. And it leads her basically to understanding her true power. It's like she had the power within her all along. So I really feel like this is a destined path for you. it does feel like a rainbow road or the yellow brick road. That's the path that's really destined, and it's calling you in this next step. This is the next step. You're moving towards that destiny. You have sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. So this is going to be very rewarding for you, group number 1, because when you take this fresh approach, when you do things in this new way that you've never done them before, yes, it's going to be a little bit of a combination of that tension and uncertainty, maybe even a little bit of imposter syndrome, but eventually you're going to feel a little bit more natural at what you're doing. It just kind of takes a little bit of adjusting. I keep getting that message of fish out of water. Well, yeah, because you're quite literally going into an entirely new environment. You're experiencing life in an entirely new way, and it's a lot more intense. So it can feel a little bit disconcerting, or you might feel a little ungrounded. And that's why I think they're mentioning here in the reading with the sacral chakra to really focus on really it just kind of like grounding into your body and feeling safe within your senses, grounding your senses. What can I see? What can I taste? What can I smell? What does my body feel like? Doing that little bit of a grounding technique that could even be part of this fresh approach. But I'm feeling like it's going to be really, really rewarding, and there's so much potential here, which is exactly what the North Node is. It's untapped potential, but it's also what you are meant to become, like I said. So this is calling you in a direction that is going to challenge you to level up, get outside of your comfort zone, go into uncharted territory, and become the version of you that really masters that uncharted territory. It's like you might feel like a fish out of water in the beginning, group 1, but once you get the hang of swimming, you're going to be a master at it. It's going to become your new habitat. It's going to become your new environment, and you're going to love it. So take this fresh approach. Let's find out what this fresh approach is. I'm actually really curious. Since we're talking about fish out of water and like going from one world to another, I'm feeling called to the Under the Sea Tarot by Jalissa's Messages. She's another tarot reader here on YouTube, and I won this through her channel. She does a giveaway, and the candle back there too. She's awesome. Okay, so let's find out. Wow, it flipped right over the Tower. Okay. Yeah. So group 1, this is going to feel uncomfortable, but I don't think that it's going to be painful in that sense. It's like it's uncomfortable because it's new. It's uncomfortable because you're being called out of your comfort zone, but it's catalyst. It is massive catalyst. And the next step that they're saying to take is to consciously and intentionally disrupt your life. Not like throwing a wrench into the system and just aggressively quitting your job or walking out or breaking up with the person. That's not the type of Tower moment that is being called for here. But they did just show me the cyclone or the tornado in The Wizard of Oz coming in and lifting up the entire house. So it might be moving, physically moving, taking a fresh approach, getting into a fresh environment. That could be part of this path. But if that's not literal, then it's really just a kind of about shaking up your foundations. Where do you feel like you're in a rut? And how can you take a fresh approach, even if it's just like a little tweak that you're making in your daily routine or the way that you're seeing the situation? How can you do that? And how is that going to change things? And yes, there's going to be tension, but once you kind of get into the rhythm of things, once you get the hang of it, that tension will turn into flow, and that's where you're going to see the rewards. You have the 8 of Wands. That's the flow, right? Like that is literally the flow that is being set in motion here by this catalyst of taking this fresh approach and changing things up. It really is going to bring you a sense of destined embodiment. Like I just keep getting this feeling of this is your gift. It's like her voice, Ariel's voice. This is her gift. This is what she is really talented at and really, I want to say, blessed with. And so that's what the North Node is calling you into, is really embodying what you're blessed with and embracing your gift and following and pursuing that. And I think that once you kind of start to take this fresh approach, you're going to see that the universe just kind of moves things around to help you because it is part of your destiny. And it's like if you take one step forward, the universe is going to come in and show you all of the steps in front down that yellow brick road, because it's part of you becoming who you're meant to be. And so it's like the natural flow of events is on your side. Now, I still don't have enough information about what this next step is, so I'm curious, and I'm going to pull some cards on that. 9 of Pentacles. Well, that's the reward, I think, is you feeling really confident in yourself and able to create stability, being disciplined in this new approach, and feeling very stable. And the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so the 9 of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles, when we asked specifically about what this fresh approach is, this could be in regard to work. So taking a fresh approach in what you are doing in your work and how you are interacting with your work or your daily physical habits, because Pentacles are very, very physical. It's not up in the mind, it's not in the emotions, it's not in the spiritual realm. It's very, very much based in the 3D. What are you physically doing every day? And that's what the sacral chakra is about too. It's very much about how you feel and interact with your environment. And it's very hands-on, touchy-feely, interactive, learn through doing type of energy. So these 2 Pentacles cards, 9 and 3 of Pentacles, they're encouraging you, group number 1, to switch up how you work or how you feel during your work. Because the 9 of Pentacles, I love 9 of Pentacles moments, and I think you guys should incorporate more of those into your day, is what I'm feeling. So what is a 9 of Pentacles moment? A 9 of Pentacles moment is when you are feeling fully grounded in the body. You're connected to your environment, what's physically around you. Your senses are heightened and you feel safe and content. So think to a time when you were just really in the moment. It felt really good. You felt very safe, and you were just enjoying that moment for what it was. Maybe you were on vacation, you were lying on a beach and the sun was hitting your skin and the sand was underneath your feet and you're like, oh yes, this moment feels good. Or maybe you were out on a walk and you just took a deep inhale of the forest air, and that sort of pine needle smell filled your lungs, and you just felt that tingling, cooling sensation, and you were like, ah, oh, yes, this feels good. That's 9 of Pentacles. That's a 9 of Pentacles moment. And we achieve those through hard work and through presence and mindfulness. And that's where I think that the sacral chakra is really going to be pivotal for you in this next step, group number 1, because it's going to help you to connect in a way to your body and your environment, to have more of those very luxurious, very connected, very mindful moments. That's what's going to lead to the rewards here, especially when you are applying that to what you're doing and what you want to do, maybe even collaborating with other people. The 3 of Pentacles can be about showing off your work, promoting yourself, collaborating with other people to create something. It's like a team effort. This might be the fresh approach. It very well could be the fresh approach, group number 1, that you're needing to first of all, get more mindful and engaged with what you're doing physically, feeling really good in your body and connected to what it is that you're interacting with. And then also working and collaborating with other people to create something physically that allows you to feel like that allows you to feel abundant and luxurious and present and grounded and really content. It's a sense of security that allows you to feel super content. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else, what other messages they want to bring through for you in this next step, group number 1. I'm having such a hard time wrangling my words today, group number 1. I feel like I'm just super excited. So you have inheritance, male with the old man. I feel like I need more information on that. So let's get another card. Turtle, slowness, and protection. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I see what they're saying here. The old man moves slowly because he's a little bit fragile, and the turtle also moves slowly. Now, that being said, the turtle in the water, they can actually move pretty quickly if they want to, but I think their just natural state of being is a little bit more slow. So what they're saying here is slow down. The 9 of Pentacles is not a fast moment, right? It's like those 9 of Pentacles moments are not done when you're running around and doing something frantically. And I think that's why I was kind of stumbling over my words before, is because that's maybe like the old energy that you've been in, is going and like rushing around, doing a million things. And it's like all of this tension, and they want you to get more into a state of flow, which is really kind of being, like I said, very mindful, very present, very grounded in the moment. And at the same time, slowing down to enjoy it. like actually being in the moment, which is a slow thing. It's not a fast experience. It's like almost like time slows down. That's what they're showing me in my mind clairvoyantly now. It's like in a movie when something really good happens and time seems to just like slow down. That's kind of what they're showing me. So they really want you to get anchored and to slow down. That's going to help. That's going to help this next step, or this is going to get you moving on this next step. Okay, there's one card that's like stuck to the table. Yarrow Harmony. This one would not come up. It was like really stuck to the table when I picked up the deck. So I feel like it's for you, and it's something that you need to embrace in this next step, or taking this next step towards harmony. So look at this bird's neck. I just noticed it. And I'm like, what? Oh, they showed me the neck is like the journey. It's meandering. It's kind of all over the place. And then they just showed me pick up the destiny card. You see, it's like all kind of, it's a bit of a winding road for you, group number one. But that's why they want you to slow down and just kind of like enjoy the sights. It's like you're taking the scenic route, okay? You're on vacation, and it's not about getting to the destination. It's about enjoying the scenery, the environment. Again, that's a Nine of Pentacles moment. And from that, you can create something. It feels like, it feels like an artist going and exploring somewhere and then getting inspiration. You know, it's like they're wandering around through this village, and then they stop and they look at the mountains and they're like, oh, inspiration. And then they sit down and they like paint that. So I feel like that's kind of what's going to create harmony here for you. And that's going to bring you an inheritance, is what I just heard. Now, that's not like a literal inheritance where somebody dies and leaves you something. This is like your spiritual inheritance that you are destined to have. It's the reward that comes from going into this unfamiliar territory, because I think if I look at like the opposite of this energy, group number one, the opposite of this energy is that rushing around, kind of like hitting up against things, not being fully present or grounded, doing things in a bit of almost like an aggressive way. And what they want you to do is to slow down and just experience the moment. They literally just slowed me down from the inside out. Like even through that sentence, it was like, and then slow down. That's going to help you create more harmony. That's what's going to bring in this reward, this spiritual inheritance. Because when you step into your destiny and you walk aligned with that path, like I said, it's that Eight of Wands moment where is it? Here it is. Where things finally work for you. It's like that flow state occurs and you can really achieve greatness. They showed me Michael Jordan in my mind being in flow state when he's playing basketball. He's like fully immersed in what he's doing. He's not thinking about anything else. And yes, he's doing things quickly, but it's in that flow state that the greatness can be achieved. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And that's why they're calling you to sort of switch things up and take this fresh approach that might feel a little initially uncomfortable, or like throwing you into the ocean. They keep giving me that message of like a fish out of water. I don't know if you can see in this card, but it's a little blurry, but Eric's like being thrown off of the ship into the water in this scene. And that's not his element, right? That's Ariel's element. But there's going to be ultimate harmony and growth and prosperity that comes from that. Okay, now this one card has been sticking out for a while. You have psychic healing. Psychic healing with mugwort. So yarrow and mugwort might be helpful in doing this psychic healing work. Both of these cards have a hand. Can you see here in this card, she's got her hand out and there's something growing out of it. Same thing here, hand out with something growing out of it, or you're holding something in your hand. Again, it feels very mindful. It feels very physical, very sensory based. And this is going to be part of your psychic healing. It's like the more that you can get embodied, group number one, the more that this is going to flow, and you're going to see the potential be unlocked, and you're going to see the natural rewards of this come about. Okay, ooh, we have recovery. And psychic healing. So recovery and psychic healing here, and at the Tower card, these are talking about you guys coming out of a situation that was a little bit challenging is what I'm getting. So you may have been put under some kind of stress recently, and maybe things felt like they were out of your control or out of your hands. The Eight of Wands can be about things that have been set in motion that we no longer have control over. It's like sticks that are thrown into the air, literally in the Rider-Waite version, that they're out of our hands and now we just have to wait and see where they fall. And it's moving very quickly. And the Tower card is, it's like, again, it's divine intervention. It's something happening that feels out of our control, but it's happening for us to reposition us or get us back on path or to shake us up in some way for a purpose. And I really feel like this is actually, like I said, it's creating more harmony for you, group number one. So it's not something to fear. It's part of your destiny. But I do see that if you have been struggling with this, if you have been needing to recover, maybe physically, because we're talking about so much of the physical body and the environment, I think that doing some emotional, psychological, and physical healing and recovery is going to be helpful. Very, very helpful. You might want to work with yarrow and mugwort. I keep getting that message of like using herbs to support you. Yeah, using herbs to support you, having something that you can use physically to help you recover. Because they just showed me, like they were showing us before with the hand and the things growing out of them. Now look at the Nine of Pentacles. She's got that one pentacle in her hand like that too. So there's something that you're going to be holding in your hand, group number one, or that is going to be offered to you metaphorically, that you will receive, that will help you to recover, that will help you to heal, and that it will also spur you into this next step, which is going to be like slowing down, becoming more mindful, feeling into the body, and recovering your senses. Yeah, recovering your senses. If you've been cut off from the body, this is what's going to help you do that. Yeah, I'm getting some kind of supplement or something, like an herbal supplement or something that gets you, it like calms your nervous system down. The sacral chakra is very much concerned with the nervous system and the sensory experience. So if you've had trouble there, like the example of Wizard of Oz, if you were in that black and white territory, this would have been like possibly depression. Right? Depression can, or anxiety can really lead to us not experiencing our sensory environment accurately. It just dulls everything down, makes everything black and white, flat, monotone. And what I'm seeing is like this herbal supplement in this next step is going to be leading you in the path or direction that allows you to really experience life more authentically and to experience the pleasures of life again. So this could be some kind of a nootropic, because that's kind of what I'm feeling it is, like a nootropic. Maybe it's like a tea, or I'm hearing like reishi, something to help your nervous system, something to help your the psychic healing, something to help. What is this, Spirit? Trust. Okay, they want you to know that whatever this happens to be, whether it's a tea or a supplement or some kind of nootropic or food maybe even, or an herb or whatever, they want you to know that they will give you the information and you just really need to receive it and then kind of implement that. I wonder, let's get the Rose Oracle. I just feel like we are nature, becoming grounded, embodiment, and living in connection. You see what I mean? This is the next step for you, group number one. It's really being embodied and feeling grounded in your environment, in yourself, feeling connected, feeling able to experience the sensory environment of the world around you in a heightened way, and feeling really good and safe in doing that, right? Like you're not overstimulated, but you're also not understimulated. You're right in that perfect, beautiful, shiny window of tolerance. Very Nine of Pentacles, like I said. Nine of Pentacles moments are the key here. So trust that you if you're not in that yet, if you're still in the black and white territory, trust that the divine plan is leading you in the direction that is going to give you the things or the situations that you need to be able to unlock this next step for yourself, do this recovery, and really feel safe to move forward. And also, I'm seeing trust nature. Yeah, trust nature. Nature has healing in it. So there's they keep mentioning this herbs, supplements. So do your research, follow your intuition. Where is it guiding you? What are you seeing repeated back to you from spirit? That's how they will show you through synchronicities, basically what you're meant to be doing. So for example, for me, I remember when I was really struggling with, what's a good example of this? Okay, for example, sometimes I need a little bit more vitamins and spirit will guide or direct me towards certain foods, and they will show me that food over and over. Like they'll show me a strawberry in like a reading that I'm watching, or an image that I see, or I'll just start seeing more strawberries all over the place. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, you just need some kind of a nutrient from the strawberry, so I'll eat that. And then I feel better. Other times they've directed me to, like for example, Shilajit. They directed me to find and do some research on Shilajit, which has significantly improved my mental function and my physical health. And so they kind of repeated that over and over and over again. I was seeing other people talking about it. I was seeing advertisements for it. And then finally, I got the message fully when I had a client session, and we were kind of talking after the main session was done, and we were just kind of chatting about things. And she goes, "Oh, have you tried Shilajit?" And I was like, yeah, I'm about to now, because you just confirmed what I've been getting from spirit. So trust those messages, group number one, and pay attention to them, because they're trying to help you. The angels and your spirit guides are trying to help you to receive the support you need from nature, because not only is that going to help your body to feel more at ease and your mind to feel healthier, but it's also going to connect you energetically to the natural world, because you're using nature to heal, right? So you're forming a relationship and a bond with nature. And then you're really going to be able to express your talents, your gifts, your precious essence. That's what it feels like. You're fully stepping into your precious essence. I don't know why that's the phrase that came through, but that's what it is. Precious essence. And it's like you're going to be really seeing the value in yourself and offering that up in some way to the world, seeing the benefit of that, and then being able to enjoy the results. Okay, so that is what I see for you, group number one. This next step for you feels very grounded, very sensory focused, emphasis on recovery and healing. Use those herbs that you feel guided to, and release some of that tension so that you can flow into this area that you are very destined to be in. Okay, so embodiment through nature. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys need any additional support or healing, I am a Reiki master, intuitive reader, and a soul coach and mentor. So if you guys are needing anything like that from me, you can check out in the description box through my website. Oh, and by the way, I'm offering Tarot 101. So if you guys want to sign up for the class, which is happening on January 3rd, you can also do that through my website. It's on the services page. It's going to be a live Zoom class. So we're going to be going in really deep over a 3-hour period, discussing all of the meanings of the tarot and how to begin working with tarot at a practical hands-on level. So if you guys are interested in learning to read cards for yourself, or maybe even just like tuning up on your card knowledge, then sign up now. Early bird pricing is available. That will be until December 15th. So you can use code EARLYBIRD, all caps, at checkout to receive the discount. Okay, guys? So thank you so much for being here. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to reading. You guys chose Keep Your Dreams Alive. So just right away, right? It's pretty straightforward. Keep your dreams alive. The next step for you is to really focus on the vision that you have for the future. That's what I'm seeing very, very loud. Focus on the vision that you have for the future. What is the dream that you had a long time ago, and how is that being acted upon now? Okay, so where am I being drawn to first? Yeah, we're going to start with the astrology. Get some cards from the Heavenly Bodies deck. The 8th house, ooh, transformation, karma, facing fears and legacies. So this is a card or a house or an energy of transformation. And it is about death and rebirth. It is about, taxes, money, other people's resources, debts, working with loans or something like that to facilitate some kind of growth. It can also be about psychological healing and mental health. So I'm seeing a lot to do with a childhood dream, because they just showed me the child in the card, and the card says keep your dreams alive. So I do feel like there's something from childhood that you have dreamed of, and it's like going through a resurgence. And this next step on your path, group number 2, is very much about facing any fears that you have of moving that forward or creating that. It's part of your legacy, and it's not even necessarily something that you need to do for work or in regard to money. The 8th house can have to do with those things, but it's not necessarily even about that. It's like, what are you going to leave behind in this world after you die? That's your legacy. Is it loving relationships? Is it positive impacts that you had on people's lives? Is it something that you created and shared with the world? Is it what you built in terms of business? Is it money that you managed to acquire and you're blessing your children or your children's children, or charities or something like that with that money? I'm seeing that this is very much about you getting back in touch with what you really deeply want and facing any fears of resistance to those things, because it's part of your karmic destiny to overcome that and to fulfill this creation, whatever it happens to be, that's going to be part of your legacy. You also have fixed sign energy, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and this is about stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. So what is it that you need to be doing on a daily basis to make sure that this comes to fruition? What is it that you need to be really persistent with and loyal to and stable about? Being consistent in a way that creates this dream, that keeps it alive. It's like they just showed me clairvoyantly a plant that needs tending to. It needs maintenance. It's like the plant is the dream, and you need to keep it alive. Otherwise it will die. You need to feed it. You need to give it energy and time and focus, and do that in a stable, consistent way. Otherwise it will wither and it will die. And this is something that has been seeded in you since childhood. Like, this has been around for a really long time, and it's part of your soul's passion. It's part of your soul's legacy. It feels very, destined is probably the right word. Ooh, I just said world instead of word. It's very destined, and it does feel like it's going to impact the world in some way, because it's about legacy. Your impact on the world, even if you impact only one person in a positive way through this expression of your dream, you are impacting the world, because everyone's connected. And you living your dream does positively influence the world. So you need to find a way to do this in a very stable, consistent, persistent way. Like, do not give up. Do not give up. Keep your dreams alive and persistence. Do not give up, group number 2. Even when it gets tough, even when you're going through these karmic things, even when you're needing to face your fears to level up to the next stage. Because this is a next step reading. So like, the next step is going to challenge you to face some of this darkness and choose to be persistent, choose to keep going despite any resistance that's coming up, especially from the inside out, or maybe from the outside in. Maybe it's like you're facing bankruptcy or debt, or you don't have the resources that you feel like you need to be able to make this dream a reality. They're saying, don't give up, persist, keep going. And the more that you can do that, the more dependable the results will become, especially if you're facing your fears. Okay, there's actually 3 more cards that they want me to have here. Wow, okay. Sagittarius, optimism, exploration, and freedom. They really want you to be optimistic about this. And you might feel like optimism is like bridging into delusion, and you're like, no, I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources in some way, shape, or form, or it's very psychologically demanding for me to do this, or it's very physically demanding for me to do this. And they're saying it's really important that you retain that level of childlike optimism of, if I believe that I can do it, I can. Because you can, group number 2. I see it here in the cards, but more importantly, I feel it in the energy signature, or the template that you are embodying. It's possible to do this. It's possible to do this. You would not have been seated with the idea if you were not capable of fulfilling that and creating it. It's part of your destiny. It feels very karmic. It's like something that you set into motion a long time ago. So you may be already on this path, and now it's like the next step is really to just keep going despite any challenges or resistance. Like, just keep going. You have the 4th house, cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. I feel like you need a very stable base. A lot to do with children here. Children, legacies. The 4th house is family and home. This could be about like being a parent, or this could, if you don't have children and you don't want children, then this could be about like focusing on something that feels like your baby, you know what I mean? Like a project or this pursuit, whatever it is, or becoming the version of you. But it could literally have to do with children. And this could be like about not giving up hope if, say, for example, you're having a hard time conceiving or something like that, or not giving up hope that the right person will come in that will facilitate the creation of a family. But I really just, primarily what I'm feeling for you, group 2, is that this is a childhood dream that you've had, and it's meant to be expressed and lived. And I think that the more that you can create internal stability, the easier that that's going to be. And you have Venus, give and receive love, find value, and see beauty. So this is something that's going to be very valuable for you. And I do see you giving a lot of love and healing to other people. They just keep bringing me back to the word legacy. Spirit, can you explain why you keep showing me that? Because if they keep showing me something even after I've talked about it, it means I've probably missed something and there's a little bit more context they want to share. I think for some of you, this is going to be literally about having children, because they showed me that this was about like furthering the DNA line. This could even be like, if you have children already, this is about breaking any karmic cycles, being like a curse breaker, being a cycle breaker. Maybe you didn't receive the love in your childhood, or you didn't have the stable foundation that you needed, and your legacy isn't necessarily the bloodline of the child itself. It's what you are teaching and providing for that child and giving them that allows them to feel more stable and follow their dreams. Whoa. Yeah, it's like you're creating the stable foundation for this child to be able to go and live their dreams, and their dreams are very, very important. For whatever reason, whatever this child is going to do is going to be really important. And it's, okay, that's a little bit hyperbolic, don't you think, Spirit? They said save the world, like this person's going to like save the world or something. It's like, okay, let's just look at it as an archetype. Let's not look at it literally. Let's just say, for example, that you had a really hard upbringing or something like that where your needs weren't met as a child. And so you felt like maybe having children wasn't for you, or that you were afraid of what you would face raising children. They're saying that the psychological healing that you've been able to do is what is breaking the karmic curse in the bloodline. And you're furthering that bloodline by creating a child that is healed and has a stable foundation. And so because of that, they're very free. And then they go out and they, like, let's say they invent something that really transforms the world in a really positive way. Maybe they find a way to repair the ozone layer, or they create something that depollutes the air, or that gets rid of garbage. You know, it's like somehow they have like this contribution to the larger world. And this is part of like your karmic legacy, your karmic, I just heard debt to society. Oh, right, because the 8th house is to do with debt. This is like a karmic debt that needs to be paid. Ooh. I can look at that in a positive way, in the sense that it's value that you've chosen to want to give to the world. And it doesn't have to be through a physical child, okay? So if that is not for you, don't take that. Don't come at me in the comments and be like, I don't have children and I don't want children and I'm not putting a legacy here. Okay, fine. Don't then. It's like what you're creating in this lifetime. And I think in the case that it's just you doing this, it's you really allowing your inner child to be healed and fully self-expressed. Yeah. Okay, finally we can move to the next deck. Oh, yeah, you have the old man, inheritance and mail. like I said, the 8th house has to do with inheritances, debt, money, other people's resources, legacies, what you leave behind. It's like you're going to be leaving behind something really important. And it's something that you are doing. It's something through your family roots. It's something through love. And they want you to be optimistic about this. Whoa. Oh my God, these cards just like flew out. You have acceptance and eccentric with the moose. So maybe you're doing this in a slightly different way than the alternative. Maybe you're changing up the family traditions, things like that, because again, you're cycle breaking, or you're changing the approach. Maybe you're doing things in a way that your family wouldn't have approved of or even thought was possible. You're kind of like breaking the glass ceiling. That's what it feels like, group number 2. And then you have husband, marriage, and groom. So this definitely could have to do with relationships, love, romance, family, like all of those things are definitely here, literally on the table. And I just keep getting this message that you are overcoming that cycle. You're the cycle breaker in the family, group number 2. So you're changing something that was wounded in the family line, some way of thinking or some way of doing things or some way of like raising children. You're healing the trauma. And in doing that deep psychological healing and really allowing yourself to find value in what it is that you are and what you can offer and the dream that you have, that's what really is creating this transformation. You have reishi with retreat. I'm getting like 4 of Swords energy from this. And the 4 of Swords is about rest, recovery, meditation, relaxation. Let's see. You also have Palo Santo, guardian. Yeah, you might be a guardian of a child. Maybe if you can't have children, maybe you're adopting and you're changing someone else's karmic line, right? Because like if somebody was abandoned as a baby and you adopt them, you're changing the whole trajectory of that timeline for that child. They could have lived a very dysfunctional, painful life, but you're giving them a life that is like healed. Guys, take this as this resonates, because these are very specific messages, and I'm still kind of unsure of how this is all coming together, but it feels very divine. Ooh, on the Palo Santo card, we have the South Node. The South Node and Pluto. So this is, like I said, it's some kind of a karmic debt. It's something from the past, whether it's the past in this life or a past life, because the South Node can be about past life things. And this is to do with your legacy. It's to do with the soul legacy, right. Can even be about like your DNA and how that has carried over from past lives for you. Breaking karmic cycles in your own karmic patterns from lifetime to lifetime, and you're inheriting something in this lifetime that's allowing you to really break free, because we had the freedom card with Sagittarius, or the freedom message with Sagittarius, and it feels like you're kind of like getting out of a karmic loop, and that could be the legacy in and of itself. But I'm interested to know more about this husband marriage card, because I do feel like it's related to that 4th house energy. You have Venus here, so it could be about like romance and stuff like that. You also have the Magician on the bottom of the deck with ginseng. So this is manifestation. It's very destined. The wheel reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune here. So it's very destined and karmically imprinted. I just heard karmically imprinted. Okay, I'm going to go in with the Psychic Tarot to get information on this husband groom card. What is this next step? Maybe it's about marriage. Maybe it's about starting a family. Maybe it's about doing some ancestral healing. Could be part of this too, like healing your DNA, healing the psychological wounds of your ancestors. So let's say, for example, this is an example that always comes up in my mind when I think about these things. It's like if you come from a line of people that went through a period of famine or starvation, there can be wounds around food or survival. So like those kinds of things are passed down epigenetically through the DNA, because consciousness is imprinted into DNA. And this is actual science. This is not pseudoscience. This is not spirituality. It is spiritual, but it's been proven now by science. So there's something about the DNA, there's something about the lineage, epigenetics, the ancestral line, your karmic history in terms of your past lives. All of these things are connected. You have the shadow card. So this is integrating the shadow. It is doing some deep psychological healing. And I think that doing a retreat of some kind or doing some meditation and introspection on this is going to help. And you have hope. Look at that. You have the 18th card and the 17th card. So this is definitely a next step in your journey, group number 2. And it is leading you forward on this path. And the hope card is the star card. So this is about transformation and healing and a new direction. It does feel like a regeneration of some kind, integration of the shadow and the light within the self, healing of these karmic bonds or ties or debts from the past. You're like wiping the slate clean, and you're getting a head start on your vision, your dreams for the future, what it is that you want to create, the legacy you want to leave behind. I just heard legacy of love. So it could be through relationship, could be through children. It could be through what you're sharing creatively as well, because Venus can also be about art. Yeah. But there's something that you have to share, and it's going to be really valuable. And it's because you were able to overcome this karmic debt. Oof. Yeah. And the bottom of the deck, you have third eye chakra. This is big stuff, you guys. This is really big stuff. You are integrating opposite and opposing truths with the shadow card and the third eye. The third eye is about divine truth, and divine truth is polar opposites united into one. So it's seeing the black and the white and understanding the relationship between them. You also have a guardian spirit that's working with you really strongly right now, is what they just showed me very loudly. You have a guardian spirit. They've been with you since childhood. This is probably like your quote-unquote guardian angel or one of your primary spirit guides. But this person, this individual, this soul, this being is very loving, very nurturing, and they've been guiding you since the beginning. Like they've been the one inspiring hope in you and really helping you to keep your optimism alive and your faith alive, because I can see that you've probably been through some really hard things. And this was part of the karmic debt, is what they're showing me. And through overcoming that South Node energy and that karmic debt of what you have been through and the legacy that you kind of came from, like the karmic legacy that you were tied to, this guardian has been showing you the way. They've been helping you to cleanse and clear along this path. And they've been assisting you at every step to, when you need to go inward and heal, when you need to apply it and to learn through physical experience, they've been guiding you through that. They've been really helping you to purge this and cleanse this once and for all. Palo Santo is such a powerful cleansing herb. Well, it's not even an herb, it's like a stick. It's wood. It's like this. Let's light some now. Why don't we light some now? I don't even know if this is going to burn, because sometimes the end of it doesn't burn all the way. But I feel like you guys need to do some cleansing. Cleanse away any of the negativity. Cleanse away. There we go. See? Here, I'm giving you a Palo Santo cleanse. Feel it through the internet. Okay, so you guys, cleansing away some of these karmic debts, and it's not just through the Palo Santo, it's through the deep intentional transformation work that you've been doing psychologically, emotionally, and especially to do with relationships, because I feel like this was something that was connected to your childhood, your upbringing, your connections and attachments to people, and I do feel like it's connected to the family that you have or that you are building in this lifetime. Okay? So that's really what I see for you, group number 2. I would definitely recommend this next step to not give up, to open your heart, do some cleansing and healing, know that you're being guided, and focus on those family roots and your connections to love, because that is going to help you to overcome this karmic debt and to leave a really positive legacy for the future. Okay, so I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. If you guys need additional support in doing any cleansing work, clearing, getting to the roots of these blocks or karmic patterns within the legacy or within the past lives, let me know. I am a Reiki master, clairvoyant. I do intuitive readings, and I can also help you with spiritual mentorship and walking you through this process. I'm very familiar with past life healing. So if you guys need anything from me, my services are listed below through my website. And if you guys are interested in learning to read cards for yourself, I have Tarot 101 launching in January, so you can sign up now, get early bird discount, use the code earlybird, all caps, all one word, in the checkout process, and you will get a discount to sign up for this upcoming class where we'll be covering everything to do with the basics of tarot, all the card meanings, how to start working with it, and how to see it reflected in your actual life so you can really get the hang of it in a practical way. So yeah, if you guys are interested, sign up now, and I hope to see you there. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose the ideal course of action. And we're going to find out what that is, because this next step for you is going to be a big one, is what I'm seeing. It's going to be so full of different things, so many people. I'm seeing tons of animal spirit guides, community, connections, prides of people, just community. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot to do with community and connection. Okay, so let's get some information. Yeah, I am feeling called to the Undersea Tarot for you guys. So what is the ideal course of action in this next step for group number 3? You have the High Priestess card. Ooh. Okay, so the next step is going to be an intuitively guided process, is what they just showed me. Yeah, that's what they just said. It's going to be a highly intuitively guided process, and you're being called to trust your intuition to lead you down this ideal course. So what is this ideal course of action going to entail for group 3? 9 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. Pushing through to the other side is what I just heard in my head. You're pushing through to the other side of something. And you're following the ideal course for you because you're listening to your intuition. That guidance is getting you from this point where you felt like you couldn't overcome something to this point where everything you've wanted is now achieved. And you've been able to build it or create it, and it's long-lasting and sustainable. So really the next step for you, just right off the bat, and we haven't even dived in super deep into your reading yet, group number 3, but they really want you to be focusing on your intuition and following what you are being called to do in the moment. And if you're not familiar with how to do that, because the bottom of the deck is the 3 of Swords, I just noticed that. So it feels like there may be some healing work that's going to help you overcome any distortion to your intuition. Because I know from experience that for me, and especially working with clients and helping to mentor people through intuitive development over the years, I've seen a lot of people really struggle, and myself included, with listening to the intuition when there are wounds or blocks in the emotional body or the psychic realm within the mind. It's very difficult to receive the information and interpret it clearly, and on top of that, taking action when there is pain, when there is wounding, when there is trauma, when there is dis-ease in the mind-body-soul connection, when there's disconnection between those 3. So that's why what I do as a spiritual mentor is I help people to heal and integrate these parts of the self so that this 3 of Swords energy doesn't impede you from being able to hear and act on your intuition. So you get very clear information and guidance, and you feel confident in your ability to take that action to make that happen. So I see that you have a lot of spiritual guidance. Your team members are all around you. You've got a ton of animal guides. You've got a lot of people, like human guides as well, spirit guides that have been humans. These are like soul tribe members, soul family members. They're both physically incarnated and not incarnated. You've got both. Really big group of souls that are here helping you. So you must have something very important that you're doing in this lifetime, group number 3, because the more responsibility you have on your spiritual path, the more spirit guidance you will have. Sometimes souls will sign up for an incarnation where they don't really want to do much. It's kind of like a little bit of just a vacation or like a put around. It's like, I just wanted to come here for the experience, but I'm not really trying to accomplish anything major. then they have about 3 or 4, maybe 5 guides. But if you have a very, very intense spiritual purpose that you've chosen to fulfill in this lifetime, you need the team to back you up to be able to do that. Like, you cannot do that alone. And so you come into this life with droves and droves, like hordes of spirit guides and angels and ancestors and guardians and animals, all of these things, because you need those support systems to be able to fulfill your mission, to be able to play this role that you've chosen for yourself. So yeah, definitely with the High Priestess here, this feels like a very spiritually destined role for you. And that's part of this next step, is to fully step into that. And I think that, again, doing some healing work, some emotional clearing is really going to help that, because then you're going to see and feel really clearly what you're needing to do in each given moment. And you won't need to rely on anyone else to give you that information. It's like you can be a lot more self-dependent, and it's not even necessarily just dependent on yourself. You can still receive and integrate this information from your guides and from your spirit team and from your higher self. But you're not relying on outside people in the physical world to tell you you should do this or you shouldn't do that. You can get confirmation from people, but you will be able to rely on yourself and what feels right. So another tip that I have for you, let's get the coffee cup oracle. Another tip that I have for you, group number 3, to trust your intuition is, does it feel expansive? Does it feel like it rings true to the core of your bones? And what came first? So those are like the 2 first things that I teach people before we even go into all of the deep diving into the blocks and getting rid of those things. Number 1 is, what was your first thought? What was like that first fleeting thought before your ego came in and squashed it? That's usually your intuition speaking. That it's not always the case, because sometimes there can be distortions that need to be worked through before that's clear. But for most people, I think that's pretty clear. And especially for you, since you're a high priestess or priest, group number 3. The other thing is, what does it feel like? What does it feel like in your body? What does it feel like? Does it feel expansive? Does it make you feel lighter? Does it feel profound, like it reverberates through your body like sound? What does it feel like? Or does it feel constricting? Does it feel like fear? Does it feel like limitation? Those are the things you want to pay attention to, because your intuition will always be the former, which is the expansion and the reverberation of truth. It's kind of devoid of any attachment to the emotion, and it just feels like truth. And then your ego comes in and kind of goes, Yeah, you have choices and indecision with the triangle card. The triangle, to me, always reminds me of the Trinity. So it's mind, body, and soul. And that's literally what I was talking about. Doing some of this healing work to unite the mind, body, and soul so that you have very clear intuitive processing abilities. That will help you trust your ability to make the choices and decisions you need to find and also create this ideal course of action. You are meant to learn how to trust your intuition, to use your discernment in every action that you do. And I got to tell you guys, okay, like from my experience walking this path, I would say about 7 or 8 years ago, before I had my spiritual awakening, I was the most indecisive person. I'm a Gemini rising and a Pisces sun. So it's very mutable energy. These are like these opposites going in different directions, right? The fish swimming in opposite directions, the twins facing in opposite directions. I could never decide. I would be waffling between a simple choice in the drugstore of which lotion to buy for like hours. It was actually insane. And when I went through my spiritual awakening and I learned to start understanding what my intuition actually felt or sounded like, and then testing that out through a little bit of trial and error, sometimes listening to it, sometimes not, I got actually a lot more confident in my ability to make decisions and to take action. And there's still moments where that doubt will creep in and the hesitation or the resistance will be there. But the more healing that you do, the more healing that I've done on this path, the more that I've been able to really trust that guidance, to trust that feeling that I get. And it's always very clear. And sometimes I'll still doubt it, but it's always very clear. It's like this one. Just like you did with trusting your intuition to pick this reading. What did you feel? Was it a sensation in your body? Was it a thought that you had? Was it just a number that popped into your mind? Was it the card that sparked something for you and it felt like a pull or a magnetism? Did it highlight in your mind? Did it feel like it was kind of popping out at you? These are the ways that your intuition may work. And it's important that you understand your intuition, because that's what's going to be your most important resource on this next path, this next step of your journey right now, group number 3. So getting very clear and decisive and trusting your intuition to guide you, even when it doesn't make sense, even when you don't see how that's going to unfold. It is kind of like a trust fall with the universe, because your intuition really does know best. And if the more you can tune into that, you literally have the 4 of Swords here, which is about rest and meditation and tuning in and being receptive to these things, calming the mind so that you can feel into this intuitive knowing and take action in that direction. You also have the Queen of Swords underneath of that. So receiving these intuitive hits very clearly, very clearly. The Queen is about receptivity. Swords are about the mind and the ability to think and make decisions decisively, very directly, very direct. So this next step for you is going to require you, group number 3, to really trust yourself to make decisions and to follow through on those things, because you're going to build something very, very stable out of that. The intuition is going to lead you to this prosperity and abundance and stability and legacy. The 10 of Pentacles can be about legacy. We were talking a lot about legacy in group number 2. And this card's been sitting in my hands for a while. We have scales, the scales, justice and documents. The scales, it's like weighing things up. Feels like Libra energy. And I did have Libra come into my mind when I was mentioning my Gemini Pisces sort of duality within me. Libra can be, in its shadow side, very indecisive. Very indecisive. And that's not like shots fired on Libras, okay? That's just the energetic archetype of Libra, because the light side of Libra is very decisive. It makes good judgment calls. It's very good at making decisions, right? It's like the judge who, it's like literally their job to decide very important things. And they have to go with the information and also how they feel. Right? It's like using your intuition paired with logic and the circumstances to be able to discern and make that definitive judgment call. But in the shadow side, Libra can be very indecisive and very kind of almost like reliant on other people to help them choose, which only further exacerbates the lack of self-trust and confidence in making decisions for the self. So that's what I'm seeing here. That's why they're emphasizing not relying on other people. You can get confirmation. Like maybe coming to a reading like this or something will give you confirmation, but you need to be able to trust yourself in this next stage, group number 3, which means that you need to stop relying so much, if you already are, on other people outside of you for answers. This is about you developing your sense of security and trust in your intuition, like big time. They keep saying that over and over. Okay, where are we going next? Which deck? Which deck? Again, this is my intuition. Okay, so I'm looking at all my decks. And I'm feeling the Rose Oracle. Sometimes it'll be a feeling, like I'll just feel like a pull. And sometimes it'll be almost like my hand will just do it for me. You know, it's like my body just does it. My body is very, like, a big part of my intuition. So maybe that's the case for you, because I'm being called to talk about this. Whatever comes up in a reading is relevant to the message that's meant for you, group number 3, or in any reading. Ooh, you have come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. So you're going to be in this very receptive energy. The Queen, the 4 of Swords, the High Priestess. Yeah, this is very much about receptivity. And the more receptive you can be, the more clear your intuitive guidance is going to get, and the more decisive you will be. Because if you don't listen, if you're not open to receiving or feeling or sensing into this, if we get too much into our masculine polarity, and we all have masculine polarity within us, male or female, doesn't matter. It's the left brain of logic and compartmentalization and taking action and doing. There's nothing wrong with that. We need that. All things in balance, right? You can't be one side or the other. But I'm seeing here that developing your feminine polarity, which is being able to receive and to be and to open up and to feel, to sense, to see things in a more holistic way where they're not separated and compartmentalized, but everything is connected. That is what's going to help you to really form a healthier relationship, 2 of Cups, with your intuition, with the way that it tries to communicate to you. Is it through your body? Is it through your mind? Is it through, synchronicities? How does your intuition communicate to you? You have Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, and destiny. This is part of your destiny Okay, so this is the third time destiny has come up in these readings today. You guys have the destiny. Destiny was mentioned in group 2, and group 1 also had destiny. So this feels like it's a collective theme right now. Very destined things in this next step. That's why Spirit called me to sit down and do this reading. But yeah, you guys have this divine intelligence within. You have a lot of wisdom. It's part of the divine plan. It's part of your destiny to really trust yourself. Ooh, they just showed me something really important here. Hold on. They snapped my eyes over to the little lizard on her head. And this reminds me of the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain, it's not actually a reptile. It's just what we call the more unevolved part of the brain, which is more like the brainstem. And then the top part of the brain, which is more critical and analysis and free thinking, is the neocortex, which is the most recently developed in our human evolution. So this is about overcoming any fear-based survival mechanisms by doing some of that healing work and clearing your mind so that you can feel clearly. Because like I said, if your nervous system is dysregulated at a physical level, that is going to impede your ability to intuit and to make choices and decisions, because you're coming from that reptilian brain, which is in hypervigilance or hyper alert mode. The amygdala, the limbic system might be overactive or underactive. And so you want to balance that out, literally balance scales, right? You want to balance that out within yourself so that you can get into this receptive state and open up to this information and not have it be either completely obstructed or distorted by this lens of fear that I'm seeing. Yeah, it's getting very, very clear in your mind and in your heart. So your mental body and your emotional body are going to be big parts of this journey in this next step, group number 2. You really need to master here the balance between these 3 aspects of self, mind, body, and soul, and how they work together, creating the relationship between them. I'm feeling called to the herbal deck. Magician with ginseng. Ginseng is stimulatory, is what they just told me. It stimulates things. Gets blood flow. I don't even know if that's true, but that's what they're showing me. It's like it stimulates, it gets things flowing. It's a very active energy. And you have the magician. Yeah, so you are a powerful spiritual manifester. Group number 3, and they want you on this next step or this next stage of your journey to really master that by creating more balance, stimulating the mind, stimulating and healing and clearing out the emotional body so that you can really know what you need to do and where you need to direct your intention. That's really important for magicians, right? When we're talking about manifestation, we have to have unity between these aspects of the self. Otherwise, we can think about it all we want, it's not going to happen. Or we can feel it all we want, and it's not going to happen, because it's a combination of all 3. It's feeling, thinking, and doing. And all of those things need to be under the umbrella of the intuitive guidance. That's when you start seeing things manifest. Ooh, you have lion's mane with leadership. Okay, so you may be, this could be a couple of different things. First of all, the scales are literally in this card again. So you have the scales twice in your reading. This is talking about creating balance. This is talking about being decisive, as we saw before. Purity on the bottom of the deck. I looked at it, so I got to show you guys, even though I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Actually, yes, I am. It's the purification that's going to help you. Like I said, we've been talking about this whole time, so I'm not really going to dive too much deeper into that because I think you got the message, group number 3. But I'm seeing here with lion's mane and leadership, there's 2 ways I can interpret this. Number 1, it's you being a leader in your own life, trusting yourself to be decisive and to make these judgment calls, these executive decisions that need to be made, whether it's what to wear in the morning or what to eat or how to approach people or how to respond and react or what you're wanting to do with your life. From the smallest decision to the biggest one, they can all be better. You can take an ideal course of action in any one of those choices by using your intuition and strengthening that muscle, because it is a muscle. I remember in the beginning of my awakening journey, my intuition was super quiet, very dulled down. And I had to work really hard to like build that muscle up over time with practice, with repetition. And over time, it did get stronger. And now it's very strong. Like it's almost like it screams in my face now. Whereas before, I really had to focus and like clear everything away so I could hear it. So I feel like you're going to be a leader in this area, group number 3. If it's not about leading yourself, but I think that's a huge part of it either way. But this could also be an indication that you're meant to lead other people. The high priestess is a high priestess. It's the leader of this spiritual community, or the provider of this spiritual knowledge, using the intuition to be able to share this divine wisdom, because you did have wisdom and intelligence within. It's part of your destiny to be in a leadership role, to be able to communicate this to other people, helping them to manifest what they want or to replicate what you've been able to create and manifest in your life. This could be like a manifestation coach. This could be like a spiritual counselor or a mentor, similar to kind of like what I do, like teaching people how to become more connected to their intuitive self and to create their life through this aligned self approach, right? That's kind of what I'm seeing. And I feel like that is the ideal course of action for you, group number 3. It's being in that kind of a leadership role. If that does not resonate with you, if you have absolutely no desire to be in a leadership role to other people, then this is simply you being a leader in your own life and choosing autonomously the things that feel right for you, the ideal course of action for you. It means not being reliant on other people, because leaders don't really rely on other people. They do to an extent, like they usually emperors, kings, queens, they'll have advisors, right? But the judgment call comes down to you. That the advisor doesn't make the call. The king does, the queen does, the president does. It's, well, not necessarily the president. That's not a good example because I won't go into all that conspiracy theory, but yeah, anyway. This is you choosing for yourself. This is you being a leader in your own life. And if you step up and you want to be the leader in other people's lives and teach them how to do that for themselves, that would be wonderful too. Yeah. Exchanging, giving and receiving. Okay. I think that's, yeah, they do want me to jump into one final deck for you guys. What is the, okay. We have a bunch of cards here. Let me just get kind of a feel of these. You've got the Jeweler, the King of Rings. I think that was pretty much the main one that they wanted to talk about. The other ones just flipped out because this one was kind of stuck to those. But this is the one they really wanted me to emphasize. The King of Rings, the Jeweler. So we were just talking about kings. It's like leadership being the one who makes the final call. Really, that's what leadership is. It's being the one who makes the final call. And I feel like you're like stepping into this position, right? Where the diamond is being placed into the setting. You're being put in the right setting. The ideal course of action on this next step of your path is going to lead you into this position of power in some way, whether it's power of self to define your life, to create your reality through manifesting and through intentional, intuitive process, or whether it's what you're building and creating and sharing with others, or both. Now, we will talk about the rest of these. You've got Next Destination with the 3 of Roses. The Hot Seat. The Hot Seat. Cheers. This is the 2 of Cups, and you've had this one here too. So this is a lot to do with relationships. And sharing, giving, receiving, reciprocating, balance, balance, balance. Yeah, Libra is to do with relationships. It's ruled by Venus. 2 of Cups is very much that energy. So this does have to do with your trust of self and how that impacts your relationships with other people. Then you have the Contestant and Keep It Chill. Okay. So group number 3, the final messages that Spirit really wants you to know here about this next step is that you are being called into a new environment here. The ideal course of action is leading you down a path that you might feel like you're being put in the hot seat a little bit, but as you step into this leadership role, or as you step into this arena that does feel a little bit unfamiliar with you, and the more you can relax and receive the intuitive guidance about how to walk your way through this sort of next stage, the more you're going to feel grounded and in a position of power. You're going to feel more self-control, and you're going to have better relationships with other people because you've either manifested that or because your intuition is guiding you to the right people at the right time to support your growth and your overall stability. I got that word legacy again. Yeah. So this is part of your destiny. It's part of your legacy. The right people at the right time are going to come in as you really pursue this ideal course of action through following your intuition. Okay. So intuitive development is really the takeaway here. That's going to be the tool that will get you to everything that you need, and that's destined for you. Okay. If you guys need help with that, additional help, more than just this reading, I am taking clients, and I offer spiritual mentorship, which is where we focus on intuitive development. We get to know who you are at soul level, what you need. We can work through traumas and stuff. I can give you feedback. I can coach and guide you through the process of intuitive development, psychic healing, and all of those things. And if you need any psychological or spiritual healing, I do have Reiki soul scans and healing sessions. I have also intuitive readings. So if you just want information from the cards or directly from spirit, that would be the option there as well. And if you guys want to learn to read cards for yourself, this can be a great tool to awaken your intuition and to help you to be more decisive. Like, I cannot tell you the time that cards have really illuminated things for me that my intuition was trying to tell me, but that my human mind was kind of bypassing. Tarot will tell you very blatantly, very clearly what's going on. And learning to read that and work with symbols and imagery can really help advance your intuitive development too. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm now launching Intuitive Development Tarot 101 course. So this is going to be the first wave of courses that I'm coming out with. They're classes, actually. So it's going to be live on Zoom, and it's a 3-hour class where we're going to be going into the ins and outs and the meanings of the tarot, all the fundamentals to begin reading tarot for yourself or for others, and how to use it practically in your life to understand what it actually means and the symbols therein. We're also going to be focusing a little bit on intuitive development, but I'm going to have a whole separate class for that. So stay tuned. If you're not already on my subscription list through my website, go hit the subscription form down below through my contact page on my website, and you can subscribe to email updates where I'm giving you like advanced notice for these types of courses and offerings. And if you want to sign up for the Tarot 101 class, use the early bird discount before December 15th to get, I think it's 25% off. Yeah, 25% off. So early bird, all caps, all one word, use that promo code at checkout. Okay. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Keep intuitively developing, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye.